Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now if you're anything like me, when you're shooting video, this is going to be your go-to device. It's your phone. It's the thing that's always in your pocket, and as the adage goes, the best camera you have is the camera you have with you. And this is pretty much always the case with your phone. Now in my case I have an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it's got a 48 megapixel main camera on the back, and then a 12 megapixel on the screen side when you're filming yourself. But I started recently, to notice the difference when I'm filming parties, family events, that kind of thing. I get a really good quality video from here, but not so much on the front. So when I'm maybe making an entry for my journal, a video entry, then it's a lower quality, and I wanted to try and resolve that by using the back-facing camera. And so I started looking around online to see what was available and what the solutions were. And you can get little stick-on mirrors and things. But I came across these selfie screens, which is a little screen that kind of magnetically attaches to the back of your phone, and then by Bluetooth mirrors the screen. So whatever you see on here is also mirrored on the back. So you can, when you're using your camera, you're using the back camera, the 48 megapixel, and you're seeing yourself through the screen. So I started shopping around to see what was available, what the best ones were, and I came across one made by Insta360 called the SNAP Selfie Screen. Now, I'm a big fan of Insta360. I think this stuff is fantastic. I've got the Flow 2 Pro gimbal, I've got the Ace 2 Pro with the Explorer grip, I've got a couple of Insta1 RSs that I use on my motorbike for videoing. So I thought, okay, I'm going to stick with the ecosystem, just like I do with Apple. I like their stuff, and I picked this up from Amazon. Now there are two versions of this. This is the thing itself. It's quite small. You can see it's about the thickness, well, slightly thinner than my iPhone 15 Pro Max. And the two versions of this, there's one that comes which is $72.99, which comes without a light, and then there's this one which is $82.99, which has a ring light around the front. So and I'll come to that and show you how it works in a moment. But it's a fairly simple premise. You MagSafe it onto the back of your phone like that, and then you plug it into the USB-C socket on the back. It draws its power from the phone, so there's no charging up or anything like that. It's always on. Then you've got this kind of a protective flap, so that wraps around the other side, so that you can see that it's protecting you from accidentally touching the screen when you're holding it in camera mode like this. The one thing I have noticed though is that when I'm supporting this camera, I use my little finger here kind of to support it, and I'm constantly clicking the on-off button here. So you've got to be careful and kind of keep your finger tucked out of the way when you're using it, so you don't accidentally switch the whole thing off. But anyway, once you power your phone on and unlock it, and you can see my phone is on now, and on the other side I've got a mirrored version of that on the selfie screen. So as I said before, there is a light, so you can press this button and you've now got a light, and it goes in kind of different levels. I think there's 3-4 different levels of dimness. Oh, 5 maybe. 5 levels of dimness, brightness. And there's also a warmth control, so you can change it from a white to a softer, warmer look and feel. So depending on your environment and how you want the video to look. But effectively, this is also a touch screen, so it is literally mirroring what's on your phone onto here. So this is fully touch screen. You can pinch and zoom. There's a little button here. Let me turn the light off so it's not bugging you, but you can see here, let me show it on this one instead. If this is a zoom button, so if you click and hold it, it will zoom out, so you get a full screen. And the reason for that is what it's doing is it's kind of flipping the screen. So when you can see here, my camera is kind of just it's down the middle. Now if I press and hold that, it expands it to a full view. So you can see I'm filming my rig at the top and my ceiling there, and you can you can control it from here. So you can see I'm now videoing, and then I can stop and control it. So that's brilliant. It's exactly what I wanted. But then I came across a problem. which hadn't really occurred to me. Because a lover of Insta360, I also use the Insta360 Mic Air. Now, it doesn't natively connect via Bluetooth into your phone. You have to use the little dongle that also plugs into that USB-C socket. And I went, oh, well, now what? I mean, it's okay when I'm filming, you know, in and about the house or indoors. The camera microphone is fine. But if I'm outside, I don't just use this. I use the wind guard as well, because I want to protect from the wind and get a decent sound quality on my videos. That's not going to happen on here. I need to use the Insta360 mic with the wind guard, and particularly if I'm working at a distance as well. So if I've got this on a tripod somewhere, you know, 10, 15 feet away from me maybe, I need to use a microphone. So I need to connect the microphone and the selfie screen at the same time, and I simply cannot do that. So despite, you know, me loving it, it's a beautifully created product. It's like all Insta360 stuff. It's really high quality. It's lovely to just play with. You know, it just magnets again. Absolutely fantastic, and I loved it, but I had to send it back because it just didn't solve the problem that I wanted to solve. And I knew that it was just going to be a bit of a pain when I went, you know, to outside, you know, down to the beach maybe to make a video, and I couldn't use the microphone, and I'd be stuck back at square one. So I sent it back to Amazon, and I left a review on the website, and I said, you know, this is why I'm sending it back. I love it. It's a great product. Unfortunately, it just doesn't solve my problem. And I thought that was the end of it. And a couple of days later, I got an email from Insta360, a nice chap at the customer services, and he said, "Sorry to hear about your problem, Terry. You know, we fully understand here. I passed along what you said, you know, to our engineers to think about how to solve this. But in the meantime, we think we've found a solution using a USB-C hub. Would you be happy for us to send you another SNAP Selfie Screen and try it out for yourself at no charge?" And I said, okay, show me what it looks like. Show me what your solution looks like. So he sent me a couple of photos, and I thought, okay, it's not elegant, but it seems to work. So I said, yeah, okay, let's have a go. I'll give it a go, and let's see how it works. So he sent me the Snap Selfie Screen out, and sent me a link to the Acasis multi-port USB-C hub that he'd been using. Now, unfortunately, that was from the United States Amazon site, and it's not available in the UK. So I did a bit of a hunt around, and I found something similar, which is this one. Now, the one that Eddie at Insta360 sent me was $45. This one was £20, 20 UK pounds. It's nothing special. There's nothing clever about it, except for one thing. So let me take it out of the box and show you what it is. Right, so it's just this. It's got 4 ports, USB-C ports here, and it's got one on the end, and then it's got a long cable and a USB-C on here. Now, the difference is this port here on the end has got a little video screen on it, which means it supports video out, which is the key thing that you need to know. And I'll put a link to this in the bottom, so you can go and check it out for yourself. And I thought, okay, let's give this solution a go and let's see what it looks like. So with this in place, what we do now is we snap the selfie screen on, and instead of connecting the little USB-C here, we connect this in place instead, and then the USB-C from the Snap Selfie Screen needs to go into that little port that has the video on it. Immediately you can see it's woken it up. So if I turn my phone on now, hey presto, we've got that connection, because both this the dongle for the Mic Air and the screen need a dedicated port. Using this hub, it's giving them both the dedicated port they're asking for. So with the length of this, you can now plug this into one of the other sockets, and you can see it's connected. It's now, we've got the lights on there, we're showing the microphone connected. If I switch on my microphone, you should see in a second, there you go, we've got a connection. So we've now got both the screen and the microphone connected simultaneously using this solution. However, not exactly elegant, is it? So we have a working, functional, physical solution. How do we make this work for us when we're videoing? Let me show you how I've done that now. And I've been playing around this for a few days to try and get the best options, and I'll share this with you now. So let's just unplug everything for a second. What I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce another little device, which is this. This is something I just had in my drawer. I bought it ages ago, never really used it. This is the Freewell camera grip. Now it's a clever little grip that fastens onto the back of your phone, but you can also fasten it onto the front of your phone. So it fastens onto the back of your phone. It's spring-loaded, which I'm not exactly always a fan of, because, you know, spring-loaded makes you think of things like Bear Trap and Buckaroo, never end well. But effectively, it turns it into kind of a camera handheld, but it also opens up, and you can expand that like that, turn it around, and you've got a little kind of a selfie stick, if you like. It has a remote control on the bottom, which will also you kind of pop it out, and you can use it on there. So then you've got full control with your thumb over starting and stopping. So I thought, okay, this is the basis of a solution here. So let's see what we can do with it. So the other thing I used was these. Now you've probably got some of these lying around the house. If you've got any cables, you should have. These are just like Velcro strips. They're about 10-12 centimeters long, and they're hook and loop, and so you can kind of tidy up your cables with them so they stick together. So what I did with this was, first thing was I put the selfie screen back on the phone to see how it would all work. Now this bit here is designed to stop you touching your screen, because it's quite annoying when you're trying to do something and you accidentally catch the screen. But for the purpose of this solution, you kind of need to leave it flapping loose. So we now plug in the USB-C hub, making sure that the video port is down to the bottom. So it's kind of, what you're going to do is loop it round. Work out kind of about there so it stays where it is, and then this, instead of putting it on the back of here, we're going to put it on this side here. So we extend this onto the screen. So effectively what we're doing is we've got it on the back side, on the wrong side, if you like, which means that this then can sit alongside it. So then we take these two little Velcro straps, and we can just kind of ease them underneath the screen like this, underneath the selfie stick, and then they're just long enough to kind of wrap round and catch each other like that. Okay, now you're seeing we've got kind of the making of a solution. Down the side here, we've still got access to these ports, so we can pop that in there, and we can plug that into the video port. And now what we've got is effectively a video rig. You can turn that around, switch it on. I've now got a mobile video rig using a selfie screen, using the 48 megapixel rear facing camera. It's absolutely ideal. It's simple, it's pocket-sized, and it works. I'm really impressed, absolutely impressed. I agree, it's not the most elegant solution. I'm hoping that Insta will introduce firmware, maybe to the Mic Air, that will allow you to connect it directly via Bluetooth to your phone. Or maybe an iteration 2 of the Snap Selfie Screen that has a pass-through USB-C port. The other nice thing that I found is with the Mic Air being magnetic, you can also just pop it on the top there and you've now got a little front-facing microphone. Isn't that great? Thanks for watching.